As it's said a lot by Samael, which I really agree with and realize more and more, like yourself. Uh, it's difficult to comprehend that the mind is the destroyer of reality, right? And that enlightenment is a destructive process. But as you said, and which you should always trust and follow, uh, patience, right? Because this process takes a long time. And if we force anything, or let's say try to force ourselves through the exit door, it's sort of like a form of self hypnosis rather than a form of self illumination. So you're very right to say that, yeah, be patient because it's much better, it's much healthier, and it's much more enlightening to understand this process on all levels of the being, on all levels of the human center. So you said right now, whatever you're going through, it feels very energetic. Yes, but the intellect also has to be illuminated too. Right? You've probably seen the diagram I shared a lot in videos about the five centers. The human body
Mm-hmm.
has, right, and the human body also has two. So we have the intellectual center and the emotional center. And through time, with patience and carrying on the practices, the superior intellect and the superior emotions will blossom and develop. And it's through the superior emotional center and the superior intellectual center which we will find that understanding and enlightenment about whatever we're going through, and we'll just know it very, very quickly and naturally, and it won't be from a place of fear. So of course, anytime there is fear, it is a part of our ego that is holding us back, saying, "Oh, hold on, buddy. You're not quite ready to walk through the exit door." It's just more like, "Hey, sit down and just reflect on the exit door, because you can't bring this baggage with you, right?" So, again, continued meditation, and illumination on those unconscious parts that are keeping us from ascending, right? And as I've said a lot, in order to ascend, it's better to descend, to voluntarily descend. Um, there's a lecture, uh, a third chamber lecture in what Samael gave, which is, it's something good to reflect on. It's that when someone is doing very good on the path, usually in reality they're doing very bad. And when someone is doing very bad on the path, in reality they're doing very good. So there's this very subtle thing to reflect on. And I've observed it in myself a lot too, that when I think I'm doing good, when I think I'm near the door, the exit door, and I feel there's a lot of illumination, in reality I'm not doing that good, because I'm turning my back on the darkness, which I shouldn't be, because really the work is about cleaning up the darkness, right? But as soon as we start saying, "Okay, I'm finished, let's go to the exit door," then we got a bit lazy in a way, right? We're maybe some impatience is coming. The
Yeah.
superior intellect is connected, and it's just something for you to reflect on. The superior intellect is connected to your, as we talk about the inner divine, your particular divine mother. The superior intellect is connected to your particular individual divine father. It's your wisdom that will blossom down into the crown. And it's, as you said, kind of the negative polarity of that is distrust with the Father, distrust with God, lack of faith in your path, and lack of faith in your own intuition and your own direct knowledge. So over time, it becomes sort of a, like a traditional connection with your own inner God, really, because it's something you begin to worship, because it's something that you know and feel intuitively. It's something that you can really begin to connect with, because comes beyond your mind. As you said, you have a lot of, maybe there's a lot of things that come, but you don't know if it's ego, right? And so it's this gradual dissolving of all those ego elements. And it's like when you start to begin to have those moments of truth and intuition of knowing, you recognize that it's not part of yourself. And this is why there's this sort of religious worshipping aspect of God, because it's a power that it's from your being, it's not from you, right? And so that's a relationship of trust, that comes over time. And it's really connected to this voice of silence, or voice of God, that begins to be a gradually stronger connection with in your life, to guide you and help you. Hmm. And this is where the superior emotion comes into it. And similar to the original kind of mudra, we could say, which is name of the Father and of the Son. And the Son is in the heart, meaning we have to feel like in spiritual awakening, and you see this reflected in any spiritual master, that they feel like a child uh, towards our own divinity, which they receive from above. And it's in the heart, in the emotional, in the superior emotional center, that knows what is right and what is wrong very quickly. This takes time to develop, but in general, when the old mind structures of ego, of our own conditioning, come up in the mind, through the superior emotional center, it's very quick to recognize that is, uh, it's just, that's ego, right? And it's really through a more inner silence that we develop a stronger intuition. And it comes less with intellectual conceptualizations, and more about following a harmonious way of being. And the thing is, it's usually very simple, but the mind wants it to be something very profound and some great concept. But usually it's very simple to follow. And usually we have this simple wisdom that guides us, but our mind comes in and tries to distort, it adulterates that divine simplicity, right? So this is why transmutation is also just very helpful and required for it, so that we don't overthink those those gems of consciousness that we develop.